Today we are going to talk about how to do the modernized pre-trip version from section 11M of the CDL driver's manual. Okay, this is new. It just came out. The new version came out September the 9th of 2022. It did not hit our portion of Texas until summer of 2024. So there's no content, or not a lot of good content out there to support this new pre-trip. So that's the core reason why we're doing this video, is to have content out there. There's just a lack of it. If you're watching older videos, you're not going to be properly prepared to take the test. You can either start your test behind the wheel in the driver's seat, or you can start your test outside of the bus entry doors. We do it starting outside of the bus entry doors because we want to condition our drivers to start examining their bus as they approach each route. So Kim is getting ready to start our pre-trip. She's going to chalk her wheels first, and then she will begin at the entry doors of the bus.
Okay, so we are going to begin the modernized pre-trip at the passenger entry doors. The passenger entry doors are not damaged and they are clean. The handrails are securely mounted. The step light is the proper color. It is not broken. It is clean and it is not missing. The entry steps are not obstructed. The tread is not loose or worn. The body fluid kit and the first aid kit are present and they are securely mounted to the bus, and the seal is not broken. The fire extinguisher is present. It is securely mounted to the bus. It is up to date on its inspection and it is fully charged. The 3 red reflective triangles are present and secured to the bus, and we do not have fuses on this bus. We have circuit fuses. Now we are going to turn the bus over to accessory and turn on our strobe light and make sure that our strobe light indicator is working. And we're going to check that our student camera light indicator is working over here on our panel. We will check our student cameras, all of them, to make sure that they are clean and adjusted for viewing. Now I want to inspect my seat cushions to make sure that they are secure to the seat frame. Okay, then I'm going to inspect my emergency door, making sure that it is visibly marked. It is not blocked. The door itself is not damaged. We are going to make sure that it operates correctly. So when we raise the handle up, the alarm should sound and the door should open smoothly. And the alarm cancels and the door closes securely. Check the seat frames to make sure that they are securely mounted to the floor and they are not broken. I would inspect my 2 emergency hatches. I have one in the back and one close to the front of the bus, making sure that they are visibly marked, they're not blocked, and they are not damaged. In case of an emergency, we would turn this to exit, push the door out. The alarm should sound, it should operate smoothly. We would pull this back down, turn it back to latched, it would close securely, and the alarm would cancel. Okay, I would inspect my emergency windows. We have 4 of them, to make sure that they are visibly marked, they are not blocked, and they are not damaged. You would raise up the handle, make sure that the alarm sounds, press the window open, and make sure that it opens smoothly and it closes back securely and that the alarm cancels. From there, you would continue to inspect, make sure that they are secure to the floor and not broken. Sit down in my driver's seat and put my seatbelt on. Now I'm going to look up and inspect my student mirror. I'm making sure that it is clean and it is adjusted so that I can see from the top of the front seat all the way to the top of the back seat. And then I would inspect my traffic monitoring camera to make sure that it is clean and it is adjusted for viewing. I would check my flat and convex mirrors and my crossover mirrors to make sure that they are clean and adjusted for me. Then I would check my windshield, make sure that it is clean, it is not cracked or damaged, and there are no obstructions except for the inspection sticker. I would check my windshield wipers to make sure that they are secure and not damaged. We're going to make sure that they operate correctly, and they do, and the washer fluid operates properly. I check my horn, make sure that it is working, and it is. And I'm going to check my air horn on my panel and make sure that it is working. It is working. I'm going to check my defroster. Inspect that my defroster is working properly. And my defroster is working properly. I'm going to check my heater to make sure that my heater is working. My heater is working and my light on my panel is indicating that it's working. I'm going to check my active noise switch. This is actually not part of the test, but for us it is important that it works for crossing railroad tracks. Make sure that we can cancel all the noise on the bus. The light indicator came on, saying that it is showing that it is working, and the noise canceled from the heater. Turn those back off. Now I'm going to turn on my master switch and activate my student warning lights. Make sure that it is illuminated over here on my panel, and it is showing that my amber warning lights are working properly. I'm going to open my passenger doors, make sure that they open smoothly, and my stop arms deploy fully and the lights are flashing. Then I'm going to close my passenger doors, make sure that they close securely, and my stop arms retract fully and the lights turn off. Now I'm going to turn the bus to run, and when I do, I'm going to watch to make sure that my ABS light comes on and it goes off. Okay, my ABS light is on my dash and it has turned off. Now I'm going to check my dash lighting indicators to make sure they're all working. I'm going to turn on my headlights to illuminate my dash, make sure that my dash illuminates. I'm going to turn on my bright lights, my high beam, and make sure that my high beam indicator is working, and it is. My left turn signal, the light indicator is working on the dash. My right turn signal, the light indicator is working on the dash. My four-way flashers, both of them are working on the dash. And my DEF gauge is working properly and at a proper reading. At this time, I'm going to ask the examiner to exit the bus and assist me in making sure that all the external lights are working properly.
Good. Good. Good.
Our headlights.
Headlights are good.
Our high beams.
High beams are good.
Okay, if you could come and check in my strobe light on the top.
Clearance lights are good. Strobe light is good.
Okay, there.
Clearance lights are good. Good.
My two student loading lights.
Loading.
My tail lights.
Good.
My brake lights.
Good.
My left turn signal.
Good.
My right turn signals.
Clearance lights are good.
And my entry light at the door.
Entry lights are also good.
Awesome.
Okay, at this time we are going to start the bus. And we are going to, let me just confirm that our wheels are chalked before we do the air brake test. We are going to start the air brake check with the air gauge and governor cut off. So the first thing I'm going to do is pump my brakes down to 90 psi. And we're going to let the air build back up and listen for our governor cutoff, which should sound between 120 and 140 psi's. When we hear the governor cut off, I will specifically identify the PSI that it cuts off at. It cut off at 125 PSI. Now for the next test, we're going to turn the bus off and back to the run position. Okay, my next test will be my air leakage test. I will put my foot onto the service brake, release the parking brake, and apply full pressure to the service brake, set a timer for 1 minute, and make sure that I do not lose more than 3 PSI in that 1 minute. Okay, I am going to get my timer ready. Okay, I am putting my foot onto the service brake. I am releasing the parking brake, and I'm holding full pressure onto the service brake and starting my timer. We're watching the PSI gauges to make sure that they do not drop more than 3 PSI. It has been 1 minute and I did not lose more than 3 PSI in that 1 minute. Now I'm going to do my low pressure warning test. I'm going to pump my service brake down and make sure that my 2 warning lights and my alarm sounds before 55 PSI. My warning lights have come on and my alarm is sounding before 55 PSI. Now I'm going to continue to pump the service brake to make sure that my parking brake deploys between 20 and 45 PSI. Okay, my parking brake did deploy between 20 and 45 PSI. At this time, I'm going to restart the bus. And I'm going to step off the bus and unchalk my wheels. I will turn my steering wheel to make sure that it releases the wheel chocks. I'm going to turn on my fast idle switch to help refill our air tanks a little faster. Okay, our next test is our parking brake test. We're going to make sure that the parking brake holds the bus in place. I'm going to place my foot on the service brake, put the bus in drive, and accelerate to 1200 RPMs for 5 seconds. Putting my foot onto the service brake, putting my bus into drive, accelerating to 1200 RPMs. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000. Our parking brake did hold the bus in place. Our next test is our service brake test. So I'm going to put my foot onto the service brake, put the bus into drive, release the parking brake, drive forward at 5 miles an hour, gently apply the service brake and make sure that my bus does not pull to either side and we come to a smooth stop. So I'm putting my foot on the service brake, putting the bus into drive, releasing the parking brake, going to drive forward at 5 miles an hour, gently apply the service brake, and my bus did not veer to either side and it stopped smoothly. And this concludes the air brake test. Okay, as I approach the front of my bus, I'm going to make sure that it is sitting level and there are no puddles on the ground underneath the engine area. All of my light lenses are the proper color. They are clean, they are not broken and not missing. And I'm going to come over here and check my flat mirror and my convex mirror to make sure that they are secure to the bus and the bracket is not bent and there are no missing parts. Check my crossover mirror, make sure that it is secure, the bracket is not bent, and there are no missing parts. Over here, I would check this crossover mirror and bracket, this flat and convex mirror and bracket, the same as I did on the other side. I'm going to open up the hood. I will inspect that all of my air and fluid lines and hoses are not cracked, damaged, or leaking. I would inspect my coolant fluid to make sure that it is at the proper level between add and full. I would inspect my spring mounts. I have 2 of them to make sure they are not cracked, broken, and there are no missing parts. My leaf springs to make sure that they are present, they are not shifted, and they are not cracked or broken. My shock absorber to make sure that it is securely mounted, it is not damaged or leaking. My brake hose and ABS line and connections to make sure that they are securely mounted, there are no cracks, and it is not leaking, the hose is not worn, and the line is not frayed. My entire brake system to make sure that there are no contaminants such as grease, oil, or debris. Then I would check my tire and the tread, make sure that my tire is evenly worn, there are no cracks, no damage to the tire, and the depth is at least 4/32 of an inch. I would check my sidewall of my tire to make sure there are no bumps, bulges, or cuts, that it is inflated to the proper level of 100 psi, and I would check that with a tire gauge. I would check my valve stem to make sure that it is not damaged or broken and the cap is present. I would check the rim to make sure that that it is not cracked, damaged, it is not bent. There are no welding repairs. There are no elongated holes, no loose or missing nuts and bolts, and there are no rust trails. I would check my lug nuts to make sure that they are all present and secure. There are no shiny threads and no broken studs. And then we go to the other side of the bus.
The other side of the engine compartment, I would check the fluid and air lines and hoses, make sure they are not cracked, damaged, or leaking. I would check the oil level with the engine off by removing the dipstick, wiping it clean, replacing the dipstick, removing the dipstick, and checking to make sure that the level is between add and full. And I would check my power steering fluid to make sure that that is at the proper level between add and full. Would check my 3 power steering hoses and connections, make sure they are not cracked or leaking and they are not worn. The gearbox, making sure that it is secure, it is not leaking, and there are no missing nuts or bolts. The pitman arm, the drag link, and the upper control arm are not cracked or worn. The joints and sockets are not worn or loose, and the castle nuts and cotter pins are present. At this time, we shut the hood, go to the other side of the bus. I would check my DEF tank and lines to make sure that they are secure, not leaking. There are no puddles on the ground, and the cap is on tight. I would check my traffic monitoring camera to make sure that it is secure and clean. My 2 emergency windows, making sure that they are visibly marked, and this part is not on your test. I would check all my light lenses and reflectors to make sure that they are the proper color, they are clean, not broken, and not missing. Check the frame and frame members to make sure they are not cracked or damaged. There are no broken welds or holes. Then this rear tire, I would check the tread depth to make sure that it is at least 2/32 of an inch of tread. Check my fuel tank and lines, make sure they are secure, not leaking, no puddles, and the cap is on tight. On the rear of the bus, I would check all of the light lenses and reflectors to make sure they are the proper color, they are clean, not broken, and not missing. The emergency door is visibly marked. It operates smoothly. When opened, it locks into place. The alarm sounds. It unlocks and it closes securely, and the alarm cancels. On the other side of the bus, I would check everything the same as I did on the previous side of the bus, with the exception of my 2 red stop arms and lights, making sure that they are secure. There are no loose, broken, or damaged parts. I check my batteries to make sure that they are secure. Okay, we're going to make sure that our batteries are secure, that our cables and connections are secure. There's no cracks, it's not worn. The connections are tight, and there is no excess corrosion on the batteries.
I hope this video has helped you get a little more comfortable with the modernized version. Thank you for watching the video.